Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. I got this deck in the mail. This is the Lubanko Tarot, created by Emily Lubanko. It was originally a Kickstarter deck. She promises that there will be decks available once the rewards have been fulfilled for the Kickstarter patrons. So this will be available according to the creator. And fair warning, this might be a little bit intense for some people. Let me read the back of the box. It's still packaged, but let me read the back of the box. A fully illustrated 78 card deck exploring the surreal, the intense, the queer, and the divine. So some people might be a little bit squeamish about some of those things. Some people get freaked out by surreal art. Some people get freaked out by or upset by intense art, and this is going to be a bit intense. There is going to be some nudity from what I recall, but for me it's not over the top nudity. I believe it's for good purpose, not nudity for nudity's sake, if you will. So if any of those things interest you, stick around. I'll flip the camera around and we'll dive in together. If you feel like this might not be the kind of thing for you, then maybe you want to go to another one of my walkthroughs or a walkthrough of a different deck. So friends, let's take a look at this gorgeous deck. Hello friends, we're back. I wanted to start off with a shot of the tarot cloth that came with this beautiful deck. The reason I unpackaged it was I could feel that the cloth was smushed up. And upon unpacking it, I did realize that they had tied the cloth around the deck, so it was pretty well wadded up. So before filming this, I decided I would iron it so it would look nicer for both the creator, for you, and for me. So let's look at the deck itself, and I will zoom in just a little bit. Here we go, so you can see the cards just a little bit better. Now I need to get the wrapping off of this deck. So let me get my sharp implement and I will carefully, very carefully, take the plastic off of this deck. Best thing to do, if you want to do it quickly and safely, is to take the knife, find one of the bulgy spots and pierce right through that, just very simply. And now you have a place to insert your finger. And let's see, since I am doing this on camera, oh yes, it is cooperative. Thank you very much, my lovely little deck. So here we go. We're getting into the package. And oh, what else came with the deck? There was the spread cloth, as I mentioned, and there was a sticker. And if you see this sticker, you'll see why this deck is intense and has some nudity. It's a gorgeous image, but also a very disturbing image. This is going to be a somewhat disturbing deck. So if this image disturbs you greatly, you might want to look at another video. And we also got a nice business card with the same image on it. Yes, I believe this is from the Devil card, but let's see if I'm correct. Here we go into the deck. This is it's got a bit of a rose, fleshy, a soft finish to the box. It's a clamshell box. Yeah, it opens up with a magnetic closure. Let's look at the back of the box. You can see the artwork is gorgeous. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. The Lubanko Tarot by Emily Lubanko. The colors are lush, diverse. The box is very high quality. Look at that inside. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And here we have the book, and here we have the deck. Let me take the deck out and look at the inside of that box. Very beautifully done. Yeah? The deliberately streaked. Yeah, the same background streaked, so it's not a solid black with a horse, bucking horse. So this is going to be a very energetic deck. We can tell right from the beginning. And here we have the backs of the cards. I believe these are standard tarot size. Let me take out my universal Rider-Waite so we can do a little bit of a comparison for size. Here we go, size. Standard US Games, Lubanko Tarot Kickstarter, and the Lubanko is just a hair wider, just a hair taller. But you know, I don't think you would notice the difference if you didn't have the two cards together. The cardstock is nice and thick. It's got bend to it. It's a matte, semi-matte finish surface. This is what the backs look like. You can see that they are reversible. Beautiful line work. Absolutely beautiful line work. And let's take a peek at the book before we look at the deck. So, the book, Lubanko Tarot by Lubanko. Same stallion. With some interesting blue here. The paper is thin, but that's fine for a little black book. And here's the first page, introduction. You are holding in your hands a lovingly crafted tarot deck. I have been reading tarot for over 18 years, making this deck for at least 6 of those, from 2014 to 2020. Much has changed in these years, and this, like any piece of art, is a time capsule of a person who makes art in such times. I believe in the importance of imagery in listening to the way it strikes one personally, and learning from that. While I hope that the images speak for themselves, I also believe the importance of breaking out from those initial impressions and trying on something new. Hopefully this guide will help you both examine your impressions and how they connect with mine, or whether they connect with mine at all. Everyone approaches tarot a little differently. That is so true. I welcome that difference with warmth. So I'm hoping that this deck will give us a good explanation of what the artist intended for the images, what the artist was drawing, what the artist was seeing when they were creating the images. I like having the images of a deck explained, at least in part, so that I see what the artist was focusing on. Back to the book. Making a tarot deck is about taking some of the largest scale metaphors of the human experience and summing them up into imagery. At their base, I made these highly personal art, but they are also works to be shared. They are highly intense tools made by a small, high-intensity person. If you are feeling lost or curious about my own personal intentions, this guide should help you. Conversely, if you encounter a card where you feel a resonance and meaning that does not match my description but feels true to you, don't be afraid to use that to tell your own story too. They come from my heart, and I am offering my hand outstretched to you. Use these tools in ways that enrich you. I hope they bring you help, I hope they bring you health, and I hope they bring you nourishment. E.L. Beautiful message. That's a beautiful message, and exactly how I believe we should approach every tarot deck. That the creator has their image, their impression, their interpretation of the cards, which they are representing in their artwork, and then we have ours. And when they don't match, sometimes if our interpretation is very strong, it feels very sure to us, we should go with our own. If we are not sure, then perhaps we can try incorporating the artist's intentions along with ours. It's a co-creative experience. Reading with tarot is always co-creative, I believe. So here, what do we have else? How to use the deck, a little explanation of that. a 3-card spread, where I was, where I am, where I may go. Okay, very, very bare bones, but good. The tarot journey. So the artist sees the major arcana as a journey, as many readers do. So we have how much for each major arcana card? We have 1.5, almost 2 pages per card, which is wonderful. We have upright and reversed readings for those of us who do read reversals. There are no images in the book. The paper inside the book is very simple, very bare bones, a little bit rough, but that's nice. I mean, it's got a nice, rough, natural paper feel to it. Not every little white book needs to be super gloss, right? So Temperance, the Sun, and here we get into the Minor Arcana. The Minor Arcana, we have description of the Minor Arcana overall, briefly, and then we have the Suit of Wands. The Ace of Wands has about a page. The Ace of Wands, 2 of Wands, 3 of Wands. So brief descriptions, but we have upright and reversed. Let's look at the 4. A hearth making a home. The comfort and harmony of being rooted. Blessed solidity. A sense of building toward or return to that feeling. Allowing that rootedness to bear fruit and be shared. To put the tendrils of warmth out so that others may find their way to that welcome. So the art isn't described so much in the Minor Arcana, it seems. Then we move through the Minor Arcana to the Page of Swords. Here we are with the Page of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles. My deck is sliding all over the place. And in the back of the book, we have an afterword. Very nice, very good, clean, clear, to the point. I might have liked more description of the Minor Arcana, but let's look at the deck and we'll pull a couple of cards and look at the book side by side. So set the book aside for now, and let's look at the gilding on the sides of these cards. We've got a nice silver gilding, beautiful. The thickness of the deck as compared to, for example, a standard Rider-Waite Smith US Games deck, we have, it's a thicker deck. It's a thicker deck by some. Probably, okay, I'm going to guess 330, but do not take my word for it. That's just my guess. So here we are. Here we go with the, let's go from the front of the deck. Here we go with the Fool. So you see we've got black borders, simple black borders. And we got the Fool with wings, interestingly. Leaping over, but there's a bridge here for the Fool. Now there's a bridge for the Fool to take if the Fool is ready to take the bridge, apparently. No companion. I love the wings on the feet here. This is a much more confident Fool than some. This Fool looks like they've got a way to go, more than some Fools, which look like they're about to fall over into the cliff. This Fool has much more security, wings, feet, wings on the back, an air bridge. And here we have the Magician. Look at her. Okay, so we've got a female magician here. We have the wand. We have two sets of hands, 4 hands. We've got, looks like a pentacle here. We've got a cup here. What are we missing? A sword. A sword. We've got a pentacle here. We've got a cup here. We've got a wand here. I do not see the sword. Do you see the sword? I love the crown on her head. Definitely creating. Definitely creating. We've got, it looks like all of the elements are here, but I don't see the sword. I'm sure it's me. Okay, here we go with the hype. Wow, look at this high priestess. Look at how her dress does that water thing at the bottom. We've got an eye above. We've got the 2 pillars. We don't have a veil, at least a clear veil indicated, but we do have darkness behind. I love that eye above her. And we don't have the moons so much as a similar kind of crown on her. Okay, we do have a veil on the head. She has a veiled head. That can work. Here we have the Empress, a very mothering Empress, right? We've got produce in front of her. Well, produce. We have fruits of the land, if you will. We have flowers. We have a child. A very mothering Empress. I love the jewelry on her. And you can probably see already that we're going to have racial diversity. The indications of age diversity a bit as well. Oh, look at that. Okay, yes, we do have age diversity. Look at that Emperor. Put these two together. Look at that. We've got earthy, brown. We've got airy, blue. We've got two ravens, Odin's ravens. This is a very Odin-looking card to me. And an orb and a sword. Now, often the Emperor is fiery, dry. This looks more of a watery Emperor to me, but also an airy one as well. Here we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant has the reds in this deck. But look at that. We've got 4 sets of hands. We've got the mask off. There's a mask that is showing what's behind for the Hierophant. We've got texts of knowledge. We've got the sign of benediction here. We've got a wand pointing above and below, connecting above and below. We've got radiance. We've got a connection with the heart here. Beautiful and disturbing, right? Okay, and all of the crowns in this, oh my goodness, look at these lovers. So like I said, disturbing, right? So here definitely looks to me male, female. Looks to me that they are feeding off of each other. So yeah, there's going to be there are going to be intense and disturbing images in this deck for sure. They are both feeding each other of themselves. And these flowers, I wonder if these flowers are described, if there's an I'll bet there's a meaning to this. Let me look at the book. So what do we have for the lovers? The lovers. The lovers is about consuming intensity of new learned intimacy, of knowing another and being known, and the overwhelming feelings that accompany that. Sometimes it is romantic, and sometimes it is simply about finding another with whom we are on the same frequency. These two are on a very intense frequency. In the lovers, we see a purity of connection. Okay? The people who understand each other, feed each other, and can grow with each other. Intense energy between people, sometimes sexual or just beyond the surface. Raw understanding between two people who know one another's vulnerabilities. Yep, they know each other's vulnerabilities for sure. The lovers can signify new love, harmony, synchronicity, relationships, a new relationship. It can also be about learning and understanding how you experience love. Is it consuming you or is it quiet? Sometimes bringing together dual forces can make a stronger force, a symbiosis. Once past the initial acknowledgement of each other's deepest selves, there can be a settling. There is the first taste that can be the most jarring. Well, yet this taste was certainly jarring, I'm sure. Now, I was hoping there would be more direct description of the image here. Why are these flowers here? What are these flowers? Why is this person eating from the hand? Why is this person eating from the uterus, perhaps, or the solar plexus, and the sacral chakra? You know, what are those differences? I was hoping there would be more description of the art in here. But there is not. That's a little bit unfortunate for me. Especially for a desk with this kind of symbolism, I would like to see what the artist sees from the images and in the images, not just the interpretation, if you will. But be that as it may, this is still a gorgeous deck. Here we go with the Chariot. And here's, okay, so that horse, the bucking horse, is the Chariot. And here we have two forces. We have two, perhaps, horse spirits, a black and a white one, and the horse in the middle. Usually in the Rider-Waite-Smith Chariot, we've got two sphinxes, a black one and a white one, pulling in somewhat opposite directions. Here we have two horse spirits, forming a yin-yang in my eyes. Okay, here we go with strength. And yes, this lion is a human, right? So a lion masked human being tamed by a... Now, we don't know. Is this person with long black hair, is this person wearing a mask as well? We don't know. We don't know, but we do know that this person here is wearing the lion mask, is being the animal in this relationship. Here we go with the... Wow, look at that hermit. This hermit is walking their path with the staff being the light. And we have constellations here. I'm going to briefly look to see if the hermit constellations are mentioned in the book. I would hope they are. I would really, really hope that they are. The hermit, because must be... Okay, I like this. Okay, no. The constellations, which constellations are chosen, is not described here in the book. I wonder if there's a fuller book somewhere available online. I will have to check. If there is, I will put a comment below. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so we've got wheels. We have creatures. We see that the wheels are in motion, I think. We have creatures riding the wheels and not riding the wheels. Here we have justice. Okay, so we've got a balance going on here. We've got the justice figure balanced on top of this. We've got a triangle in the back, a very balanced, stable figure. Now, and we also have kind of that plate, the circus feel of... Have you seen people rotating plates on the top of sticks? In a circus environment? That reminds me of that. This reminds me of that. And this figure looks a little bit more male than we would normally see in a justice card. But then again, the hermit looked more, perhaps more female. But I don't think gender is to be read directly. Here we have the hanged man. Okay. We have man here, and definitely looks like a male figure with their head in the water, but the nose able to breathe, but their head in the water, hanging from these vines. Beautiful hangman. Here we have death, and we have a horse moving through in transition, it looks like, perhaps from life into the death realm. Interesting. Here we have temperance. Okay, we've got 1 foot on land, we've got 1 foot in water, we've got 2 vessels, we've got... Okay, so doesn't it look like this water is transforming into trees, water trees? We've got wings on the temperance card, not uncommon. And here we have the devil. So yes, that is the devil. The sticker was the devil card. Remember? The sticker, the business card, was the devil card for sure. And notice the slash in the back of the devil, riding a heart, a chained heart. So what can we get from this? You can get that the heart, or perhaps a pomegranate, is chained by some perhaps addiction, by some need, by some bondage. And the devil also could be bound themselves. And the devil is a wounded devil themselves. Here we have the tower, definitely fallen down, yeah, in flames. We've got earthquakes below. We've got, it looks like a comet image, doesn't it? And the star, hopeful. And she is both gorgeous and interesting. Usually oh no, the star card does look down. But here, instead of stars in the sky, we have leaves in the sky. A much more earthy feel to this star card. But I will say she looks hopeful. She looks like she's got her stuff together. And here we have, oh, look at that moon. Okay, so instead of a crustacean or a crab coming out of the water, we have this figure coming out of the water with a crown on their head, a mask. We have the two towers and the moon between and the water path. Instead of water and a path, we have a water path. And we have the sun. We have a child in clothes on a horse, looking radiant, their head. Oh, look at that. So instead of a face separate in the sun, we have this child's head in the sun, which is beautiful. No sunflowers, but it looks like can you see the faint indication of a wall behind them? Kind of looks like it to me. This horse looks a little bit, I don't know, looks a little bit unstable to me rather than some of the other horses that we see, but maybe not. Maybe I'm reading something that is not there. Okay, judgment. We've got the rising up from below, rising up. It looks like from a pit of fire, but rising up, being called up. We have many people down here. And here we have the world. Oh, look at that. Reminding us of either a Shiva or perhaps a Brahman. Sometimes there are a few Hindu gods and goddesses who have the multiplicity of arms and hands. Beautiful card. Walking on a cloud. Full radiance in their full glory. Okay, here we go with the Ace of Wands. Yeah, and again, I think this Ace of Wands is not going to have a description of why there is a hand coming up. But let me take a peek. Let's see. Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. Here we go. The Ace of Wands. Okay, the lightning strike of inspiration, power, beginnings, potential, creativity unleashed. Now is the time to grab the torch in your hand, let it flame and sprout. Okay. No direct description of the image, but yeah, we have the lightning mentioned. That's good. Reversed, what do we have? Feeling like your potential is being blocked, lack of inertia, being intimidated by the prospect of starting, by new ideas and ventures. Okay? Okay, sure. Let's see. Two of Wands. New realms and possibilities. Forming plans, mapping your progress, surveying your accomplishments while planning for the next big thing, trying to see the broader horizon. Typical description of the Two of Wands, sure. But look at that. So it's a much more natural looking card than the Rider-Waite-Smith, but we've got some of the elements. We've got the two wands here. We've got the looking out over the land. Instead of this being water, this is land. Here we have the Three of Wands. Very different from a standard Rider-Waite-Smith image. Yeah? Looks like she is casting her wands forward, and the wands have already borne fruit. Here we have the Four of Wands, a celebration, often a celebration card. Here we have a door. We don't see any people coming out to celebrate. We don't see any canopy of celebration set up, but we've got a Four Wands. We've got a home structure behind, reminding me a little bit, just a little bit of a Hobbit home. Here we have the Five of Wands. Definitely conflict or competition. You can see that here. Looking a little bit bloody, but compared not as perhaps bloody as the Devil card. Here we have the Six of Wands. We have a person writing in other people, celebrating them. We don't have the laurel wreath, but we do have a headband up here. Here we have the Seven of Wands. Oh, look at that. We have the person above defending from below. A lot of masks in this deck, right? But the higher ground, sure. I would have loved to have also had some description or explanation or indication for the color choices. Why is this one green? Why is this one red? What does green say to the creator? What does red say to the creator? What does the blood say to the creator? The Eight of Wands. Now the Eight of Wands is energetic, right? A lot of sometimes wands flying through the air. I get a little bit of a Ten of Wands feel with these wands on the back, but this person looks very energetic, sure. Nine of Wands, often a defensive card, still standing after a battle. Don't get that image here, but we've got these wands. The trees seem to be growing wands, don't they? Or becoming wands. The Ten of Wands. Okay, so this person here does have a basket or a net full of wands, looking like they're having a much more difficult time than this person seems to be having, right? And again, look, we've got clear diversity in race. Beautiful, beautiful figures. Here we have the Page of Wands. Look at that. Very fiery. Here we have the Knight of Wands. No horse, but perhaps a little bit more movement in this direction, right? Looks like they've got wings. Perhaps instead of horses, the knights will have wings in this deck. We'll see if that holds true. Queen of Wands. Look at her. She is riding her passion, definitely riding her passion. She's got her hand on her very well-placed wand. And a mask. Here we have the King of Wands. Look at that tiger. A lot of power. The King of Wands is controlling that power. Looking very magical. Here we have the cups. Okay, so the Ace of Cups, interesting. We have a figure with their head in the water instead of a fish coming out. We've got a figure looking for the fish, perhaps. Here we have the Two of Cups. Okay, so we have two figures in relation. Yeah, we've got a hand binding of some sort. They could be read as same sex, certainly. Lotus here at the bottom. Gorgeous. And the Three of Cups. Here we have three figures in communion, enjoying each other's company, bringing their own gifts to the relationship. Do they look different enough? Okay, yeah, they do look different, certainly. Particularly in that this one looks clothed in more of a sheath, and these others look more clothed in looser garments, or at least less revealing garments. Here we have the Four of Cups. Look at her. Look at her hair. I love her hair. And we have that extra cup here. She's not looking at any of the cups, right? She's not happy with she's not interested in any of them. She's looking off over there. This cup is right here. And we have some body diversity, yes. Here we have the Five of Cups. All of them are upright, but he's not really paying attention, or he or this person is not paying attention to them. Paying attention to the water shooting up from the ocean. Here we have the Six of Cups. Okay, we have two childlike figures here at the bottom. We don't have six cups, but we don't always have to have the exact number of that element within the card. We have 6 sticks here. Could be, if there weren't a title, that could perhaps be confused with the 6 of Wands. Maybe, I don't know. No, maybe not. We have a heart here. We have red flowing out of the cup, perhaps connected to the heart. Here we have the 7 of Cups, and often the 7 of Cups is imagining, dreaming. I don't get that from this one so much. Interesting that there's this boat flowing away. I mean, a boat going, looking perhaps downstream. Snakes. Okay, so the 8 of Cups. Here we have 8 cups. 8 of Cups is often one of leaving it all behind, leaving the disappointment behind and moving on. And this person looks like they're fallen. They haven't gotten ready to start walking away yet. They're still falling. Here we have the 9 of Cups of satisfaction, and this person looks very satisfied. This person is in their cups, as they say, in their cups. Looking very happy. Here we go with the 10 of Cups. Often a family card, rainbows, harmony. Don't quite get that here. At least not right offhand. We got an ace here, looking like an ace of cups up in either a sun or moon, a celestial entity. Interesting. Here okay, I've got to look. What does it say for the page, the 10 of Cups? Gotta look at that. So here we go with the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups, the 10 of Cups. New beginnings, creative, emotional, and familial fulfillment. Okay? Abundance, richness of emotional connection and health. Like the nourishing rains of spring that bring a harmonious ecosystem, the 10 of Cups is about that lushness and following auspices of good fortune. Okay, sure. We've got rain coming down. Although the plant life does not look very bountiful yet. So it's the beginnings, I suppose. Here we have the Page of Cups, very watery. Very, very watery. And a water symbol here behind. Was there a fire symbol behind the Page of Wands? Just want to check that. Just a moment. Let's look at the Page of Wands. Nope. There was not a fire symbol behind the page. At least not one that I can see. Not for the Page of Wands. But this... whoa, I just lost my Page of Cups. Where did that Page of Cups go? Here we go. So the Page of Cups looks like they've got that water triangle behind them. Walking away. Let's see. Does the knight have wings? The knight does not have wings. This knight has a horse. So this knight has a horse, the Knight of Cups. We've got a waterfall looking somewhat romantic, sure. Emotionally connected. Oh, I'm sorry. When I said the Ace of Cups with a fish coming out, I was thinking of the Page of Cups, wasn't I? Let me go back to that Ace of Cups. Yes, the Ace of Cups does not have a fish coming out of it in the Rider-Waite-Smith decks. It's usually a cup being offered up, but yeah, that's usually the cup with the fish. No fish here. Here we have the Knight of Cups. Here we have the Queen of Cups. Definitely in the water element. Yeah, a Mer Queen. And here we have the King of Cups. Okay, so look at that face. Looking to be underwater. This queen does not look to be underwater. This Mer Queen looks to be above water, but still a water figure. This king looks definitely in the water. And here we have the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords we have, okay, looking like the sword is cutting through this this surface to see, to reveal the darkness behind. Here we have the Two of Swords, balance perhaps. Now we have a somewhat more light and darker side to this figure. We have the two swords balanced here. The detail in this artwork is amazing, isn't it? Here we have the Three of Swords, very standard image, three swords piercing a heart, not a red heart, a black one here, perhaps indicating the emotional state of the heart that is pierced. Heartbreak, disappointment, agony, pain. Very little life, blood flowing. Here we have the Four of Swords, which is usually a meditative card. And yeah, she looks like she's in her thoughts, certainly. Here we have the Five of Swords. Ouch! Okay, so who won this battle? Often the large figure in front is holding the swords and walking away, and these two figures are walking away in disappointment, and this figure looks somewhat triumphant. This figure does not look triumphant. It does not look like they're in a good way walking away. So what cost victory is pretty clear in this card. The Six of Swords moving on, and this figure does not look like they're moving on in a very happy situation. This person looks pretty dang dead. And sometimes the Six of Card is read as the death card, traveling across, not the death card, but a card indicating death, because the boat is traveling the river Styx. So you get that feeling very strongly in this deck. And here we have the Seven of Swords, often stealing away, and this person is not, looks like they're stealing in at the moment. Somewhat ninja-looking figure with seven swords at their back, not in their back, but at their back, at the ready for use, it looks like. And here we have the Eight of Swords, a card of being bound, and this person looks like they are looking somewhat trapped. The mask is off, interestingly. Interesting. There's a sexual feeling to this card that I don't often see in the Eight of Swords. Here we have the Nine of Swords, the Nightmare card, right? You can get that from this, surely. This figure is holding themselves. I can see anxiety in there. And the Ten of Swords, definitely stabbed, definitely knocked down, not completely down, but you can imagine in just a few seconds, the rest of the swords are going to be doing their work. You got blood here on the bottom. Interesting that they are in this somewhat cage-looking figure. Here we have the Page of Swords. Look at that. Look at that. It looks, yes, there is a hand rising up from the energy flowing from the sword. Looking somewhat Mid-Eastern in garb. Here we have the Knight of Swords on a horse, riding, looking somewhat fiery to me, but we've got the sword, we've got the eye, beam of light piercing from the eye, a piercing light of perhaps of intellect, of thoughts, of ideas. It's interesting, this lightning kind of figure below. This looks like a very fiery card. Okay, so another possibility. No, okay, so if this were like fire of air, yeah, this would have been water of air. But I don't see, because queens are almost 100% related to water, and I don't see a water element in this coloration. So it's not like this is the fire, and this is the water, and this is the earth. This looks very fiery to me as well. Interesting. And here we have the King of Swords. Beautiful card. Look at these images in the background. We have perhaps a Diana figure with an bow and arrow. Interesting. Here we have swords in the background. seeing clearly, seeing very far into the distance. Yes? And she looks like she is, oh, I don't know. She looks pretty, she looks in pain to me. She looks like she is bleeding. She's been through a lot. This king looks like they are seeing clearly into the future, having clear vision. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, so Ace of Pentacles, don't exactly see a pentacle here, but there is a single round figure in there, underwater perhaps. Let's see where the pentacles go from here. Okay, so I don't see any pentacles here, but we do get that balance. You know, the lemniscate is often in the Rider-Waite, the Pamela Colman Smith artwork, in the form of a band around two different things. Here we have a heaven and earth balance here as well. Let's see what the 3 has to say. Okay, so we've got that working together in a holy space feel from this. Very similar to a Pamela Colman Smith rendition of that card. Here we have the 4 of Pentacles. Yep, holding on to their pentacles. We have pentacles in this card, clearly. Wearing a mask. Here we have the 5 of Pentacles, and we have 5 windows, shedding light, warm inside, cold and rainy outside. Two people are walking in the rain, having a perhaps hard time of it. There is shelter behind, if they decide to take access, make themselves available to it. Here we have the 6 of Pentacles, sharing, sure. We have hands below, hands above. It looks like these pentacles are coming down from these hands above to those below. Okay, here we have the 7 of Pentacles, often one of waiting for the harvest, of evaluating where things are going. Does she look like she is evaluating? Does she look like she's waiting for these to grow, to mature? Not quite sure. I would have liked to have seen more relation between these, but again, this is just a first impression of the cards. The art is gorgeous, and I need to sit with them, apparently. Here we have the 8 of Pentacles. This person is definitely honing their craft, working on their art. Here we have the 9 of Pentacles. Usually in Pamela Colman Smith, she is, there's a woman with a bird in their garden. In her garden, this person has a harvest that they are carrying. Interesting. This figure looks like they're still doing a lot of work too, to me. And here we have the 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is somewhat in the Tree of Life form, but this star probably should have been down here to be more in line with that Tree of Life figure. But we have 10 pentacles here. We have, I suppose, a family here at a tree, a stable structure. Perhaps you can get the sense of legacy here. And here we have, oh, look at that. Look at that Page of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful page. Hand on their pentacle. Looking very active for Page of Pentacles to me. But clearly looking like they're enjoying the experience of doing what they're doing. Here we have the Knight of Pentacles, looking like they're moving slowly, surely. Don't see a pentacle here, but we do have an orb around their head. And here we have, look at that Queen, definitely. Yes, Queen. Definitely got their bounty around them. Look at her. Look at her beauty. Look at her richness, her abundance, her bunnies. We've got a pentacle right here, surely. And we have the, oh, look at that gorgeous King of Pentacles. Definitely, we do have a clear pentacle here at his head and a pentacle here at the chest. Very earthy looking colors too. So friends, what do you think? Is this a deck that you are going to be interested in when it is released by the creator? I will put a link to the Kickstarter page so that you can take a look at what's there. And also, I think there's a place where you can keep updated as to when these additional decks will be available for purchase. The artwork of this deck is gorgeous. Let me do a quick shuffle so you can see how this deck works in action and pull a card for us. Now, what is a message? I'm going to do this, well, here. Okay, they shuffle and they bridge very nicely. They riffle and bridge very nicely. The gilding is a little bit sharp, if that is something that you're sensitive to. Yeah, the gilding is a little sharp. Not as sharp as some decks. I've definitely felt sharper decks, but it is sharp. Let's see how it overhands. Okay, yeah. And hear the sound of that semi-matte cardstock breezing over each other. Let me try doing one more overhand. What is a good message for us at this moment, today, as we are creating and as we are watching and as we are interacting with this video? One card did fly off. Let me bring it back. 2 cards flew off. Let me bring them back into the picture. And let me do one more shuffle and a cut. That's not painful at all. Not painful at all. One cut and a pull for us. Here we have, sorry, the space is a little bit tight for my large body. Here we have the Page of Wands. I think that's a perfect card for this time and this deck. Now, the Page of Wands. Their passion, their creativity just beginning. Just starting to break free, and the need to learn how to use it. Now, the need to learn how to work with it. But still, they've got it. They've got that fire within, and they're starting to direct it. Let's see what does the book say? What does the book say about the Page of Wands? Here we are with the Page of Wands. Let me read. The foolhardy page, okay, at the beginning of a creative journey. The recklessness of the learning beginner. A person with with drive and passion, but without necessarily the experience to execute. But there is a chance. Fast, fiery, flashy, and sometimes without clear direction, but oh, what style. Definitely. So, direction can be learned. Direction will be learned. But to learn direction, we need to take that first step. And I think this card is perfect. We need to take that first step. We need to show our style. We want to show our style to the world. And showing our style and making tries, making attempts is the way to begin the process. It's the way to begin to learn how to use our passion, our creativity, our fire. So, friends, for this deck, let's learn to use our fire with this deck. So, comment below. What do you think? Do you want to get this deck? Are you going to get this deck? Do you have this deck? What do you think of this deck? I'd love to hear from you. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.